Okay, so I pulled the 110 Void Shards necessary to go for Wight King Narses. Let's take him for a spin a little bit here and see if it ended up being worth it and the results that I'm getting with him so far here after initially building him for the first time. Let's get into it. Okay, so I pulled the 110 Void Shards to go for Wight King Narses, and let's talk about the first initial build that I've done here really quick to test him for a little bit and see if it ended up being worth the Void Shard investment that I spent going after him, because I got absolutely nothing else besides Wight King Narses. So I'll kind of show you what's going on so far initially with him here on my account. Okay, so first of all, the build that I'm going with is like a hybrid tank damage dealer build where I'm not going full out damage and I'm not going full out tank. I'm trying to kind of put him in that flex role within a team, and I'm mainly focusing on the build that would help me utilize him just in general Magisteel farming in the classic arena, or farming in tag team arena and slotting him into a PvP team with White Queen and Korra as a team that would synergize with each other, putting both of them in the same squad. So I didn't even bother going with accuracy on him. He does have the ability right here to affect their cooldowns without accuracy if he has White Queen on the same team, which I plan on utilizing him with. So I'm just gonna still get value out of that A1 and not even worry about trying to stack a bunch of accuracy on him. That's gonna help me make him a little bit more tanky. The only unfortunate thing is I wasn't able to get him to 100% crit while also getting like the 125,000 HP that I wanted. It's okay. Again, he's not a nuker. He doesn't have to blast the whole team down in one turn. So it's okay that he has like 75% crit rate. I would rather have the massive amounts of stats that let me win a defensive style as opposed to making sure I hit that. But it is a goal of mine to eventually min-max the gear a little bit to get him closer to 100% crit rate. And I would try to kind of put him in a team like this right here, where I get the speed aura from the White Queen tandem with him. I get Tormund to help me kind of bridge the gap and make sure that I can go if I'm up against an Arbiter type speed boost team. I have Lydia to help me block revive on the constant annoyances of things like Sun Wukong and the double revive teams you're going to run up against. That'll let me, or at least give me some time to scale and catch up a little bit with this more defensive style. And then I've got Wight King as my utility DPS role to get after it. So I'm going to try to show you some even matches here. This is a 280 versus 260 or so. We've got a pretty standard defensive Pythion Ultimate Death Knight Sun Wukong style that you're going to come up against a lot in PvP, and we'll see how we kind of fare here with Wight King and the White Queen tandem, just kind of on full auto. So here we go, Sun Wukong, we're hitting pretty good, and then we're able to block the revive there, right there. It'll at least give me some time to kind of snowball and start to scale up, but this is going to be a slog. It's going to be hard for me. Clutch provoke there on, is there anybody I should target down first? Probably. This is going to be a tough team to get through while they've got the stone skin up. I'm going to have to kind of wait that out and just see what goes on here. I may need to bring a little bit more like buff strip. I get the speed boost from Lydia. The nullify right there is pretty good. Are we able to... I got the Mithrala down. Pythion. Oh, that was really good damage right there. Yeah, those extra hits on the shield are super clutch there from Wight King. And then Lydia's is off cooldown. But once you have their reviver down, you can definitely outscale them. So it was the Pythion that we really needed to eliminate. And now we're going to be perfectly fine. We've got enough damage to get through here. Enough cooldown manipulation to outscale them for sure. And then Lydia's got the speed buffs going down as well. We got the extra hits. We're doing a ton of damage here against the Ultimate Death Knight. And it's just a matter of time until we take him down. We got the clutch revives coming in right there, but it's not going to matter. There's the deny on the Sun Wukong. And boom, we were able to beat a pretty solid defense team here with the blessinged up UDK Sun Wukong. And like I've just done like a base level build of my team right here. I'm just kind of testing out just how it feels normally in the arena. It would be nice to have a reviver like a Duchess or a Mighty Uko in my team, something like that to help bridge the gap, but I do have a Korra there to kind of pick it up and get the clutch revives coming down. Now right here's an interesting one. We've got a 260k speed team right here. A lot of this may come down to how well the Tormund does in terms of freezing. They were not built for a ton of speed. I was able to just blast them down. So they went with an Arbiter, but they built her like sub 300 speed in gold 5. Okay, that's interesting. Let's try this Arbiter team and see what's going on here if they're able to go first. Interesting. My Lydia outspeeds another Arbiter. Oh yeah, look, the double hits are huge. coming through on those shields. That like the effect of that is going to happen a lot in PvP. There's a lot of shielding nowadays, but I want to go up against like an Arbiter built at 370 speed or something. What about this one right here, 265? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's a real Arbiter. We weren't able to get any procs on the Torment, which is brutal. Yeah, this went about as bad as it could have gone for me. Very, very clutch there on the cleanse from Wight Queen, but we're gonna need a revive before we can really start to outscale them. But I survived kind of that first initial wave, and the Wight Queen has been super clutch with the revive, and then we're able to kind of live long enough to nuke. So that was a good fight right there. We went up against a speed Arbiter that was actually built to go first, and then we took about the worst it could have gone for us in terms of not freezing anybody and then getting feared and everything. But Wight Queen is able to go ahead and cleanse that and then revive my utility champion in Narciss that got nuked down, and then we were able to outscale them. So that was a really good example of a fight and how a team like this can be built for success in just farming general utility. Let's see if we can find a few more here. We've got like, oof, this is a big one. This is an Arbiter Siphi. I don't know if I would have enough healing to get after this, or I mean, enough damage. I don't know if I can chew through this. But with those shields, I am going to hit pretty hard. We were able to do some freezes there. Torment's going to self-revive. That hurts. But Narciss is tanky enough to not go down. We got the cleanse. The strengthen is very clutch. We're not going to be able to debuff them. But yeah, so he hits so hard because of those shields being up. I'm actually absolutely loving that. Then Lydia comes through, blocks the revive. We're not going to be able to get a nullified down. But can we do enough damage? We probably can. To get the Siphi down. We definitely want to target Siphi and debuff her as best we can. And then, yeah, we weren't able to hit super hard on the Siphi because there wasn't a shield. Fear is pretty clutch. And there we go. Okay, so now once the revivers are down, we are good to go. So yeah, that was going to be a tough team there with the Siphi Arbiter and the Sun Wukong and everything, but we were able to pretty easily deal with it. And I'm absolutely loving how hard Narciss hits because of that ability where he gets the bonus hit if they're under a shield. Let me go ahead and pull him up here quick. So yeah, this A2 on Wight King, he's got attack all enemies, ignore some of the defense, and then he's going to place an extra hit if they're under a shield or a strengthen. So that's why you see him just hitting so hard, because he ignores defense twice and gets an extra hit. He basically doubles the multiplier of his ability if they're under a shield, which is going to be super common in PvP. Then this one here, this is going to be another kind of standard team. You get your double support with your Sun Wukong, your double support, double damage dealer. Yeah, we've been doing pretty good as long as they've got shields up and I can hit super hard. That again went about as bad as it can go. I'm gonna get absolutely nuked down. But yeah, the cleanse from Ancora is super clutch, and then he actually does pretty well, even being at like 75% crit rate. He's doing just fine in terms of loving the block revive coming out there from Lydia, giving me time to deal with their reviver and deal with something like a Siphi. Hitting very good there, 25k. It's not going to matter that he's reviving himself. We increase the cooldown there with Wight King, and he's not really able to do anything. Lydia can't revive. She can only boost and support current champions. So again, some of these teams that I think are going to be tough to deal with, or at least pretty even fights, because of Ancora being able to cleanse and deal with things after taking the initial wave that they place on me, I'm able to then out snowball them over the course of a long fight with a strong tandem here of Ancora and Narciss. Then this one here has a Kymar, and they've also got two different ways to block revive. Could be a little bit brutal here. Also, Roto's going to be pretty solid here, able to do some single target and hit super hard. But yeah, there's the block revive from the Foley. We weren't able to deal with that. He's not going to block revive, so she'll be able to revive him. We didn't get any procs there. That's going to hit super hard, hopefully. Didn't quite take down the Rotos, which is going to be rough. He's not going to block, but he will be able to... Rotos is just going to outscale me here. He's going to come in with his Fated Destruction right here. We needed to nullify. She didn't nullify the Rotos. Yep, okay. So I could have won that one on manual, I think. Let me go ahead and try this again. Let me try manualing and see if I'm able to take this down. Like, see if that makes a difference. So this time, we still get... It went exactly the same. We're going to block the... This one right here, I can actually do the buffing. It went about exactly the same. Now, I do want to get these debuffs and buffs placed, so I can still auto this here. Now on this one right here, he can go ahead and Destruction Blast. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the fight that I lost was definitely winnable. That one was the first one where it was kind of a close enough match and a well enough constructed team where it can go either way and kind of just come down to some of the RNG and some of the manual play. What about this one? This one's going to be brutal. This is a 280 versus a 413 with the Trunda absolutely blasting me. This one could be a little bit rough. They've got some pretty darn good gear here. Let's see if we can outscale them over the long haul. The Quen's coming in. Let's get a big nuke. We weren't able to get a big nuke. They weren't under a shield or anything. Okay, that's good that we got that down. They actually don't have a reviver. Probably should have. We were able to barely. I'm not going to be able to revive Wight Queen, though, if she goes down. We were able to take those bombs. Ooh, and just barely not take down. But Tormund's going to finish it off. I just don't quite think I'm going to be able to handle the Trunda here. Is going to do too much damage. Can I beat the increase cooldown? Oh, my goodness. It's going to be so close. Increase cooldown. Oh my goodness, we were able to do it. Oh my, so 280 versus 413 here with the tandem here. What a fight. It came down to just could have went either way. That was a lot of fun, but that was a super tough team there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with some of the customization I'm going to have available here with this new tandem of Ancora and Narciss. I think especially when I get blessings on them and I min-max the gear a little bit and I work around, play around with some of the compositions to like different teams to try out. I think I'm going to be able to build some pretty fun teams that will help me farm arena a little bit more consistently and then also be able to progress and farm in the tag team arena a little bit more consistently. So it's a little bit brutal to be sitting on 10 Void Shards right now, but hey, I mean, Wight King Narses is arguably, well, I should say he's definitely one of the top 3 Void Champion guarantees they've ever done. So I guess if you're going to YOLO your shards at some point, getting a guaranteed addition to your account as a Void Legendary, I can't really complain about that. So far, so good. It's looking like it'll end up being worth it and at least helps make PvP a little bit more easy in terms of farming and being consistent. And then I've got some fun compositions to play around with. So let me know your thoughts down below on what you're doing with the tandem so far and all of that. I always appreciate your feedback as well. I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks. Peace.